I'm Dan. I'm from Patchogue. A little bit about me. Um, 34 years old. I sell gold and silver. That's what I do for a living. And I met Frank a while back, about a month ago, and we just been discussing things and figured, we should do a podcast together. So, that's how this came about.
Yeah, Frankie, I'm 38. Grew up in Queens. Now I resonate in Long Island. Kings Park, Smithtown area.
How many attempts did you have at a podcast before you met me?
Let me see. One, two, three, four.
Okay.
And actually recorded just audio, but somebody bad
I,
it out. Somebody doesn't like.
well, you need video to go along with it. I mean, I did a couple audio episodes. Got a little bit of heat on it. People were watching,
Oh,
but you want the video too.
well, yeah, audio is just. I mean, I can listen to Spotify. I want to listen to audio. You know what I mean? I want to see the visual. At
Yeah,
least for me.
right.
I mean, me. I can't even read a goddamn book. I can't, bro. My ADHD is just all over the place.
Which is another reason as to why me and you are perfect together because you're more of a fitness guy. You like to work out
Yeah,
and work out the body. As to me, I read and like to work out the mind.
yeah,
You
we're
know.
definitely yin and yang.
Yeah, I mean to let the viewers know a little bit about what this podcast is going to be about. A little bit of fitness, a little bit of recovery, addiction recovery, which is something that ailed me for a long time, and I'm finally on the other side. A little bit about conspiracy theories and things of that nature.
Oh, definitely with the conspiracy theories. As I call it, truth seeking, not conspiracy, because there's plenty of truth out there.
Right. So this is going to be a little bit about everything. And I'm disclosing myself. I struggled with addiction for a long time,
I mean,
and
that means, sorry, I didn't cut you off, but yes, both of us,
so
definitely.
I mean, let's we might as well be full disclosure. I met Frankie in a treatment center a while back ago,
Yep.
and we hit it off in there. We talked about the podcast ever since maybe the second day we met. I got out Monday, he got out Tuesday, and here we are Saturday, and we're recording it.
We're doing it, bro.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people you meet in these places, anybody can be anything they want. Who's a kingpin? Who sold the most drugs? Who did the most crime? Who's got bodies, which you never should talk about?
oh, another thing. I mean, it's also going to be a little bit about prison too, because
Yes.
me and him both been there as well.
We ain't no Wes Watson over here.
And it's funny because I remember being in prison, and you'd hear about the guy that, I have a Lamborghini, I have a Aston Martin, but he never paid his
Homeboy's picking
surcharges.
dimes and nickels in the block.
Yeah, asking for a rollie, never
Yeah.
paid his
No,
surcharges,
that's the guy bumming you for coffee.
things like that. So, I mentioned I sell gold and silver, right? And um, this kind of leads into one of those conspiracy type theories because for some reason, since the beginning of time, they said that gold had value. Now, I don't know if you're watching the gold market now, but it's up above $5,000. Silver's doing well as well. It's around $85, $90 an ounce. And a year ago, it was 35. Gold was at 3,500. Now it's like 53, which is phenomenal, especially for business. But the funny thing is, since the beginning of time, they always said that gold has value. Now, if you follow it back, there's a theory of the Anunnaki, right?
Oh, yes, from Mars.
And what they say is the Anunnaki, they made humans, right? We were kind of like a science experiment, and they made humans to mine for gold for them for their atmosphere.
So, all right. So, I've been down this rabbit hole since 2005, roughly. What I've learned or researched was Anunnaki were in Mars. That's where they came from. And that, there was like, where the asteroid belt is, there was a thing, I forget the name of it. I think it was what we'll call it the super Earth. Because
Okay.
Earth was like, I don't know, say 100
So,
times bigger.
so this is different than planet Nibiru.
I think it is Planet Nibiru. Maybe I
Okay.
forgot the name. They called it, they
Okay.
referenced it super Earth.
Right.
At least what I heard. And then when that planet exploded, that's what destroyed Mars. That's why the one side of Mars destroyed. That's why the asteroid belt's right over there.
Right.
So they, you know,
I mean, it definitely looks like remnants of a planet.
yes.
Um,
Well,
and,
there was a project called Brilliant Pebbles. That project, they put, I guess they could use whatever, science they used, and it brought back the asteroid belt, and it formed that planet.
okay.
That's what I heard.
That's dope.
Listen,
Listen, there's a lot of like questions that the more you try to find the answers, the more questions you got.
yes. I mean, it's a rabbit hole, and now the problem is a lot of things are censored.
Okay.
So I was doing this before the great censor came, and you know what I mean? There's
Mhm.
certain platforms and things you cannot find said things.
Similar to like what's his name, Alex Jones. Alex
Yes.
Jones talked about all this stuff.
Alex Jones.
Matter of fact, there's a video that Alex Jones, he does that thing Infowars,
Yep.
and it was a clip of him in like July of 2001, talking
Okay.
about that there's going to be the twin towers are going to fall. They're going to blame it on Afghanistan and all that, and everybody thought it was bull, you know. And then, sure enough, September 11th happens, and the same thing that he said in July of 2001
So-
happened.
Now, I always heard when they bombed it in 93, I'm pretty sure we were in 93, that was like the testing ground to see how much damage they could do. And like,
Okay.
you know, so that, because nothing happens right away. Everything's in phases and plans. You know what I mean? So like that bombing was to see how the infrastructure would hold, I guess, whatever they used to detonate, you know, whatever bombs they used was to figure out, you know, what they could do and what they would need to bring down a building like that. You know, because it was full of asbestos. That's why they could never, you know what I mean? It was an eyesore that they looked at it for the city.
Well, I feel that there's the shadow government, the deep state, whatever you want to call it. Is they always do things like that, right? So I think even COVID, to a degree, was something like that. As far as wear the masks and just to see how willing people are to do what they say to do.
Well, yeah, that's also how you have the whole world shut down, pretty much. So to bring everybody together, you know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, remember what was it? They were trying to do the North American Union
Mhm.
and bring back all the continents, bring all the countries together. So you could. It's easier if you could do continent and then bring all the continents to the world order.
See what you did there.
Yeah, see?
You know, you were telling me about the Nazis prior to them being the Nazis.
Okay, so no, so this is what I learned is the real. I'm saying it wrong. It's like VIRL, some real society, whatever. It's a secret society in Germany, and I think it was 1935. They had a bunch of mediums and psychics to contact what they thought were beings that were blonde hair, blue eyes, that they thought, I think, Pleiadians or from the Nordics, whatever, but they were really inside the earth.
Okay.
So like it was like pretty much
So
we'll call it pure.
So
human
does this tie into Admiral Byrd?
down the line. So that was after World War II. Admiral Byrd supposedly, I know about the plane thing. I don't know that I never heard was true. So they brought British ships and U.S. Navy ships down there. They were going to Antarctica.
Okay.
Because the Nazis went from, or German/Nazis went from Argentina. Argentina, next stop, they would take a sub to Antarctica.
Okay.
So there's all caverns. They're going, that's where the Anunnaki's technology was. That's what I heard got froze over an ice age when they did come to Earth.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I heard something like they were able to pick a type of technology from them that
Yeah.
expand on
Well,
that.
also, Admiral Byrd was, they went down there and then the Nazi, Nazi Germany, whatever you want to say, they were this group, and he made a quote saying they have ships that could go from pole to pole in seconds, and they had weapons we'd never seen before. Supposedly they went down there, got spanked, the British and U.S. Army, Navy, and then that's when he came back and was like, all right, they got stuff. We don't know how it works, what's going on. But then when Paperclip happened, a lot of these Nazis, well, pretty much all of them, came to U.S. And U.S. didn't, like, instead of, like, putting restrictions on them, like, you got to stay in this area, they were allowed to go wherever. So they gave the military, what I heard was the shittiest technology they could find.
Okay.
And then they gave it to the private contractors and said, hey, listen, out there in the asteroid belt, there's platinum, silver, gold, like on Earth.
Right.
And then, once you hear about the money, and then they started showing them their good technology to, repurpose it.
Okay. I mean, it's crazy how much disinformation that governments give out and people believe it. I mean, I think the Roman Empire never fell; it became the Vatican, right?
Of course, the Vatican.
And that in and of itself is, they got that Vatican archive, which is miles long.
I heard they have, like, okay. I don't know if you've seen the Superman movie, the one that came out.
Yes, the new one with Green
so
Lantern.
Lex Luthor put Superman in that big glass.
The jail cell.
Oh, that jail cell. So I heard the Vatican stacked up. I don't know how tall it is. And inside there, they have technology and all these ancient artifacts that were talked about.
So, like the Ark of the Covenant.
Yes, like all stuff like that. That were like, either weapons or some type of energy, whatever. Gizmos, we'll call it. But, yeah, and then the Vatican, also its own, it's its own sovereign nation. So
right,
you can do whatever you want there.
within a nation.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of like DC is within the United States.
It's exactly. Yep.
Which is just freaking crazy. You know, the Vatican is one of those things. Even the Bible itself, right? Like you have the Old Testament, the New Testament, but the Vatican has books that are not part of the Bible. The Book of
Oh.
Enoch, the Book of Nephilim, the Giants,
Yes.
the Book of the Watchers, and it's crazy that this is an organized religion, right?
Yep.
That decides what is going to be in the book that their people are going to read and follow.
Yes, and also that book we're never the true copy of that book, whatever it was made. We'll never see that.
I heard the closest version is the Ethiopian Bible.
See, I'm not big with religion, just not my cup of tea. I believe in a higher power, just not like as a kid. I'd be sitting there at church. I went to St. Joseph's School in Astoria, Queens.
So that was like a Catholic church?
Catholic school, and I
Okay.
remember sitting there and being like, these stories just don't add up in my brain. Even
Right.
as a kid, I was just like, this.
Well, a lot of the books, like the story of Noah's Ark is the same as the Sumerian text, the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Now, Noah's Ark, I know for a fact the military found a ship that was like size of a cruise
Okay.
ship. Basically, I forget where it was. I can't remember. And actually, I seen the 3D image they had. Somebody posted, and supposedly it was massive. So they don't know how it was built,
Okay.
and the wood dated back to when that was supposedly happened.
Wow.
I heard it was massive. Like from just the satellite images, it looks massive. And it was like on a shore or something. I can't remember. It's gonna drive me crazy now. I can't think of like where it was. Maybe somewhere in the Middle East, somewhere in that region, because that's where all that stuff took place. Anyway.
I have big hopes for this podcast because I already have a lot of guests ready to come on. All right,
Dude, that's exactly what we're trying to do here.
My buddy Script Keeper, which is a artist out here on Long Island, does a lot of conspiracy theory, red pill type of raps. He was actually on 106 in Park for Freestyle Friday.
Okay.
He was at Summer Jam. He performed on Summer Jam. He's in Florida now, but he definitely wants to come on.
All right.
I reached out to one of my old college professors for philosophy that would love to come on. So this could also be like a learning opportunity for us.
Yes.
Ask questions and get clarification on things, which is great. On top of that, the facility we were just at, if we get a certain amount of time, Karen's going to come on. Brendan, which is a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, he's a character himself. And that guy is a character. And pretty goddamn good shape for his age.
Oh, yeah, and acts like he doesn't know
I was
anything.
like, bro, you on the gear? He's like, no. He's like, my test levels are high naturally. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of anabolic steroids.
Speaking of,
this is me small, so you guys will see the progress as time goes on. But yes, I've been doing it on and off since 2006, roughly. And yeah, no, if you come off right.
So, I've always heard of it. I know DECA, TAS, all that stuff, right? Now, how long is a cycle, right?
Okay, well, it depends. Like the first cycle I ever did, the whole point is coming off right. Like 3 months, roughly, if you're a beginner. And yeah, back in the day, a lot of it was from like stuff that was for dogs or horses, which was not good. Now, fast forward.
Pharmaceuticals got better.
Pharmaceutical, human grade you want. So like back in the day, like my first cycle, I gained 30 pounds roughly.
Wow.
And the whole point is you want to keep. People say you take steroids, you lose everything. Yeah,
so that's roughly 10 pounds a month.
Yes. And
of
also,
muscle.
Lean muscle. Because the lean and more dense you are, the more bigger you look. You know what I mean? So like, and also you want to come off right with ACG, Arimidex. Because if you come off, what happens is your synthetics up here, your natural stops producing. Okay. Right? And then your estrogen, depending on if it's anergetic, anabolics will bump up your estrogen. So you take estrogen blocker, everybody's body produces estrogen. Like, thank God my body doesn't really produce that much. I don't really have that many side effects. So if you come off the ACG, that jumpstarts your natural testosterone. Okay. So when you level back out, your body goes back to normal, better than normal. So the whole point is not to lose what you gain.
Right.
Because if you lose what you gain, what's the point of doing it?
Exactly.
And that's why people get messed up. And that's when you can say roid rage takes effect because your estrogen levels will spike because you just crashed your system.
And so estrogen is like female characteristics.
Yes, exactly. That's why the roid
they get
rage,
very emotional.
Yeah, exactly. Start flipping out over the littlest things. Usually, if somebody's in a bar, I always do. I said, okay, let me ask you, you're at the bar? He goes, yeah. Okay, cool. Were you drinking? Yeah. Were you doing a little bit of snowflakes? Yeah. Were you popping them Skittles? Yeah. So what do you think it was? Steroids or all the above?
Probably all the above.
And you probably got an ego too because you feel big and strong. So it's like the placebo effect. You feel like the Hulk. So anybody says anything, you want to buck up and you think of the man. You know what I mean? You want to peacock up and test out your newfound powers, but it don't work like that. Nothing's a miracle drug. What you put in is what you got to tell everybody. I work out 10 times harder because you're putting money and time into your body.
Okay.
And you want to get the full. You got to eat like me. I have such fast abdominals. I can eat meal prep all day long. It's like a second job in itself.
Wow. I know. I know a few people that work out, and the amount of food intake they have is insane.
Yes, it's incredible. Like I have to wake up.
Now, is some of that force feeding yourself, or
hell yeah.
or are you hungry all the time, or do you
I
eat
mean, a little
because?
bit of both. Like I wake up in the middle of the night, I got to eat. So I usually have these protein puddings or overnight oats. I'll eat.
So is it like you eat because you're hungry and then keep eating for flavor?
No, keep eating to put on size.
Got
Like,
it.
for me, I got to put on size. I try to bulk and cut. So heavyweight at high reps is kind of usually the workout I'll do. So I always give everybody an example. Like say I'm back in full swing of things, I'll say flat bench because that's just easy for everybody to, explain. So like I'll do 225, 25, 30 times. Then I'll bump it to 275 for 20 times, maybe 18. Then 315 for 15 to 12, and then 375 or 405, and then so you're doing a lot of reps,
Right.
but also increasing the weight.
Right.
So you're not doing like 10, 12, 10, 8, 6. You know what I mean? You're starting at 30 and working your way down.
Got you. Well, this is the first episode, and I imagine, if we don't talk about it now, people are gonna have questions, right?
Yes.
So, as far as what did you go to prison for?
Mine was very young age. I racked up in about 2005 a slew of charges. In Suffolk County, it was possession, attempt to sale. I guess pretty much somebody sent me up from high school because
Good friend.
it was 420, and I already got kicked out of school like 3 times. I went to a couple different high schools, and then by the time I was like 16 or 17, yeah, about 16, I think. It was after I was supposed to be a junior. Tried to go back to my school, it didn't work, and it was 420, and I was going to a park right by the school, not on school property. It was off. It was like basically everybody take this road to get to go to lunch. And I go make 2 sales, boom, 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 get in my car, and then all of a sudden, I go to back up and see a van. I'm like, who the fuck is this? And this lady hops out. I thought it was like some mom, and I open the door, and I just see a gun. And then all of a sudden, trucks pull in. And I was like, everything's in the trunks. I don't want them tearing up the car. I remember it was a hot summer day sitting in that car, and everybody's driving by from school beeping the horn, and then they ripped apart the car. They were looking for harder things. All I had was Bud, who was 420, and also like 9 o'clock in the morning. So then, fast forward a couple of months later, we were in by Hofstra. It was like one of the last bars. It's not around anymore. And I don't remember. I remember it was like a big brawl. It's us and these kids from Queens. And the melee happened, and after, I couldn't tell you. I was like half blacked out, and then somebody hit me. We started fighting. Long story short, he like almost slipped into a coma. I forget the exact. As time goes on, it gets so blurry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got hit with. They tried to hit me with gang charges because of the brawl, and then whatever, felony assault for that, and then that got YO'd.
Lucky.
So but also if you get rearrested, they bring up the violent charges, which I thought that went away. But
Gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. And then so that started the whole
Cycle.
Which that cycle, it's rough.
Progressive.
Back then, drugs weren't really a big problem. You know what I mean? I was just getting to steroids, so at least I could, I didn't have that monkey on my back.
Right.
I could just focus on what I got to do to get through this.
Right. Okay. So as far as me, I mean, I got locked up for like little things, county time. But the prison joint, I had, I was going into car dealerships all over, and I was straight up taking the key fob right from the dealership, going back later in the night, and just driving the car right off the lot, right? And
now, did you have dealer plates, or you were just?
I had transporter plates.
Transporter plates, okay.
Okay, so I had something like when I finally got arrested, they had linked me to I want to say like 42 cars.
Oof.
From like 4 or 5
That's
dealerships.
Some GTA going on.
And I was renting them out to people, but of course you know how it goes. Somebody always drops a dime.
Yeah, somebody gets jammed up because usually trapping out of the car.
When I got my discovery, it was 2 people I was very close with. One of them disappeared, and the other one's down in Florida, right? So I did my time. I come back, and I remember it was my mother's birthday, November 9th, and I reported to parole, right? And the next day, the detectives come knocking on my door, and I know, like when I plead, so I did my time. I come back, and I remember it was my mother's birthday, November 9th, and I reported to parole, right? And the next day, the detectives come knocking on my door, and I know, like when I plead out, it was for anything known and unknown.
Yeah.
So I know I didn't do anything. Nothing's over my head.
Yeah.
And it was the detectives that arrested me. And they were like, Mr. Noble, where are these 12 cars? Because they couldn't find them all. They knew they were missing.
Yeah,
they couldn't find them.
Yeah, they couldn't locate them.
And I did my whole bid already. And I was like, I straight up told them,
Oh, so
listen.
this is after your bid?
Right.
Whoa.
So I was like, do your job.
Yeah,
They did not like that. But so that's what I went away for. But it was always, for me, it was always drug related.
Yes.
Doing
yeah.
something for money for drugs. Even my current charge, I got a possession in the fifth. Working it out, probably going to get drug court or whatever. But yeah, it's always been in pursuit for drugs.
Yeah,
right.
of course. Like later on in the timeline, that's when the painkiller epidemic was possible. I had
Right.
spinal surgery, so I had doctors from all the way from Brooklyn, Queens to out east in Suffolk, and then I met somebody at a clinic, this dude from the Bronx, and he was like, I could get $5 a pop for the little blue guys.
It's a good
And
price.
this is back in the mid 2000s, before, not now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everything was real. And he was like, you come pick up 500, come back, pick up 600, come back, pick up 700. This is all in one day. I was, you're like, okay, whatever, bro. We met him at a clinic in Long Beach, me and my, let's call him co-defendant.
Mhm.
And boom, I called him the next day. I need like 300-400. Boom. All right, come through. Bring your A bottle. He would always tell me which bottle to bring, so for the trip. So I
Right.
need him right off the Brucker at a path mark, or if he, in first person I ever met that was there before me. And if something was wrong to him, he'd switch places on the fly.
That's in the pursuit of getting drugs, right?
Yes.
One of the hardest things to do is find somebody that is there on time.
Yes, they're on time and also doesn't need a ride. Because yo, I need a ride to the bodega, my girl's house. It's like, yo, get out of my car.
Right. Have a pocket full of work, but have no vehicle.
It's like, bro, you're supposed to be the
man.
the man, the hustler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody gets something
Homeboy, you
from
need a
somebody.
ride. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? What do you want, like a $20 spot too, on
That's
top of it?
crazy. I mean, thank God that life's behind us, though, right?
Yes, no,
I mean, the getting and using, and as they say in the program, finding ways and means to get more.
Yes. Also, we're putting it through better avenues as we're doing now.
Right. I mean, I've always heard, as far as addiction goes, the opposite of addiction is connection.
Yes.
Which was profound when I first heard it, because I always thought it was the opposite of addiction is just not doing anything.
Yes, like when I first went to a facility like that, I was like, all right, just sell drugs. That's my problem. Once I stop doing that, I'll stop using.
Right.
But no, that was not.
Well, that's the two sides to substance abuse:
Yes,
to
yes.
using and selling.
Yes.
I think Jay-Z said it in a song. There's two sides to substance.
Him and little Puffy over there.
Well, that
He
Diddy
falls into that category from me, at least.
that Diddy thing is crazy. I mean, I've heard stories that Jay-Z would be the next on that chopping block.
Yeah.
Because I think him and R. Kelly were doing some shady things back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, like, that was for sure. R. Kelly was another fall. I mean, he did some dirt, but he got the shaft just like, Puffy when he bucked up to the liquor corporation.
Right. Well, actually, I just saw he got a reduction on his time.
Again?
A few months. So he was supposed to get out, I think, in July of 2028. Now he's getting out in April 2028. It's a couple months shaved off. I mean,
He's sitting pretty right now. He's at a low. He's
I
chilling.
mean,
He bought up everything he had to buy up.
What really came out of that is that he likes to rub semen on his nipples.
Yeah, dude, what I heard, their main thing was, I don't want to butcher the entity they mess with. I know he started with J-Lo, but they take from the chakra from below
Okay.
for your rectal.
Wow.
That was there. It was something with the energy and connection of taking somebody's energy like that. That's what I always heard.
Well, I mean, if you look at the Tibetans, like mystic arts, and it always comes down to, Buddhists, Hindus, the chakras,
Yes,
right? The
yes.
energy, the life force. And then there's a certain form of yoga, which basically there's a certain type of juice within your spinal cord, within your pineal gland that drops down, and then it comes back up, and it gives you a natural type of high.
Yes.
Which is also where the Santa Claus thing comes from.
Yeah,
coming down
I
the
heard
chimney.
there was a little...
Coming down the chimney, also the 33 vertebrae in your spine. Which
Everything 33,
is
33, 33.
Which is the whole... I mean, 3 is one of those universal numbers. Jesus, on the third day he rose again.
Yep.
Started preaching at 33. His ministry, he died at... started preaching at 30, died at 33. Had 12 apostles, 1 and 2 is 3. It always comes back to the 3.
Yes.
which is weird. I mean, I have that book on numerology, right?
That book was on point. I was like, damn.
You know, you do the birth year, you do the and then you could write out your name, and every letter goes to a number 1 through 9, and then it adds up to a certain number, and it explains traits about you, and it was dead on point.
No, dude, it was dead on. I remember you showing up doing the book with everybody. I was like, man, oh, wow.
Like, how does it know me?
Yeah. Like,
Which just goes to show, I mean, supposedly the elites, what they do is, you know, when it gets to a certain day, they'll have a C-section and do it early.
Yep,
So that kid is born on that day that has that certain characteristic at a certain time.
yes, that makes sense.
Which is, you know, I mean, you know, numbers, I guess, were discovered, not made.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, numbers are universal constant. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, you know, another thing I've heard is, you know, there's no right angles in the universe. You know, we made squares, right?
Yep.
And anything that's a square has the ability to enslave you.
Even time is
a man-made construct to measure distance between events. But I mean, when you think of it, things that are squares, you know, a bed, a room, a cell, a phone, like everything with a square could enslave you in some way, shape, or form, which is insane. I mean, you know, there's so much mysteries of the universe. I mean, we can't even make a freaking pyramid if we wanted to.
The pyramids.
You know, we couldn't replicate. We could make skyscrapers. We make all that.
We
but
can do all this crazy architecture, but we can't. And listen, those pyramids are way different than what they tell us.
I mean, and then also, you know, they found that they have those cylinders on the bottom that go down, and it's like connected to aquifer.
Yeah, like I always heard those were like energy things for whatever alien beings or extraterrestrials. Like those pyramids were built like almost like an energy plant, like a nuclear plant. Yeah,
right. No, it powered the city.
Look how they line up the stars, the lane land lines. I mean, it's like it's just.
Which brings me to Nikola Tesla. Right?
Tesla.
There's a place out here on Long Island called Wardenclyffe, right? And it was one of the places he studied when he was getting funded from J.P. Morgan. Until he told J.P. Morgan, "Hey, listen, I could give the world free electricity."
She never said free.
Pulled it.
She never said free.
Pulled it. And then he was living in a hotel in the city, right? And the hotel was set up. It basically was a hotel. It used to be a radio station or something, and had the same type of thing as Wardenclyffe, where it could generate power, right? And you know, ironically enough, our current sitting president's uncle was the FBI agent that was in a hotel room a couple doors down from where Tesla was.
Yeah, I heard they killed him with like some type of CIA, some type of dark.
And then they went in, and there was something like I forgot the amount of. There were trunks that had all different, like instructions on experiments, the death ray and things of that nature. I think there were like maybe 43 of them, and only 20 of them made it to the federal headquarters.
Yeah, I know a lot of his real important things were in his head. Like he said, he used to get images and stuff beamed into his head. Right. And a lot of those ideas he just kept here. You know what I mean? He knew what they were trying to take his stuff. Well, that's why he was so paranoid, locked away.
I mean, one of those big things he said was, you want to know the truth of the universe, think in the form of energy, frequency, and waves.
Yep.
Which is true. Because frequency in and of itself is a weird thing, right? Like you have two tuning forks, right, that are the same frequency, and you hit one, the other one goes. Which is why I think, you know, you have to, when they say find a mate, find somebody on your same frequency, right? Because if you have two tuning forks that are different frequencies, you hit one, the other one doesn't come. You know, and we all have different frequency, different vibrations, different waves that we're on, you know. And there's like that lower realm, which is that, you know, when I'm induced on drugs and whatnot, I'm on a lower realm.
Yes.
And then I get off and I get into a higher realm and a higher realm, which I think has something to do with what chakra that you're at.
Yeah,
and then you get to the crown chakra and you open up the third eye.
Drugs and destroy that, bring down your vibration, the stuff they put in their food or water. You know what I mean? They pump into the air.
Right.
All lowers our vibration.
Well, I mean, you know, then there's a whole chemtrail thing that they do, and they let chemicals out in the airplanes that, you know, just screw up the planet as it is. I mean, even they can make snow if they wanted to.
You see that?
I saw a video where it was like it was on a building, and they were just pumping snow out.
And there's also somebody was lighting a snowball, and it was going on fire.
Well, the snow, I mean, it just might sound weird, but when I was a kid, I used to eat snow, right?
Yeah.
And I've
We all
tried it
done that.
recently, and it's not the same.
No, because you got to think all the stuff they pump into the air that
Right.
forms the snow and drops back down.
Right. I mean, then we got like, Elon Musk, right? One of those guys that his mission is to get to Mars. Super smart guy. Not only did he buy Twitter, but he has SpaceX,
Yes.
where he's making all these rockets.
You know what's
shoot-
crazy?
shooting-
My sponsor's actually in Texas working on. I don't know what he's doing exactly. He's down there for SpaceX.
Really?
So I gotta ask him some questions. Like I don't know what he's working on over there, but he's down there right now.
Yeah, that stuff fascinates me because you hear different conflicting stories. One is that we've been to the moon, and then we get one that we've never been to the moon, and it's like which one's true? Because the space station they have in the sky, they have a replica of it in Texas in the water, and it's the exact same.
Yep.
And they've done videos where the same type of landing that they did on the moon, they did it in water, and it looked exactly the same.
So I always heard there was a real
Two videos.
two videos, a real one and a fake one, just because the stuff on the moon, like the moon, I always found out was artificial construct from that super Earth or Nibiru, whatever you want.
Well,
to
I
call
heard
it.
it was a satellite.
Yeah. So what happened was a satellite for another planet that they hollowed out and turned into, like almost like bring back the movies, like a Death Star, and that was going to tie lock with the Earth to make it more
Well, I mean, whatever it is, it definitely has a profound effect on the water.
And who came in the moon, what I always heard was what you want to call the Nephilim giants, because they were on that super Earth with the biometrics were different. What the hell is it called? The pressure.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
On the Earth, so like they were bigger because the Earth was so much, whatever, we'll call it super Earth, was so much bigger, so they were so much bigger.
Right.
And then that's where the rings around Saturn. Remember I was showing you about the
Yeah,
book?
the ring makers
The
of
ring
Saturn.
makers. So in there's a ship, supposedly, that's huge, that's mining it. And I heard that they saw inside the rings were glass rooms about 100 feet tall with technology in that.
That's wild. Imagine seeing that.
I do. Man, I would love that.
There's so much mysteries of the Earth, and they label everything a conspiracy theory.
Well, because that's how you suppress it all.
And it's disinformation.
Disinformation, misinformation. You know what I mean? They just keep pumping that in. That's why you have TikTok, all these other things that, like my boys telling them for 20 years about this. They watch on TikTok and now they believe it. I'm like, what?
Well, and you know what? With the introduction of AI now, it
Well,
makes
that's
it
another
even
problem.
harder because I watched videos that I thought was real, and then I find out it's AI.
Yeah, I know. You see like a music video, like, wait, hold on. Eminem's with like 3 different people, and then you're watching, like, wait, hold on. This is
Yeah, it's
this is
crazy.
all BS.
It's crazy. Just the amount of, how far. I mean, what's AI going to look like in 5 years? Do you ever think about it? Because I remember when I was a kid, I grew up on the cusp of beepers, right?
Oh.
And then becoming cell phones, the old Nextels. And then iPhones appeared, right? And just to see how far an iPhone came from its inception till
Oh, yeah.
now is insane.
Oh,
So
forget
imagine
about
what
it.
AI is going to look
We
like.
have a supercomputer in our hands now. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean the amount of especially like Google, and I imagine Google suppresses a lot of information, right?
That's a fact. Put in DuckDuckGo, Yancey, all these different search engines, and then type in the same thing, and you'll get all different.
Right, and I mean, but I think that's less of Google suppressing it and more the country suppressing it.
Oh, of
right?
course, yeah. Or the powers that be.
I mean, more recently, I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with Candace Owens, but she's
Yeah,
going
of
on a
course.
deep dive about the whole Charlie Kirk assassination, thinking Erica Kirk has something to do with it, and her ties to the Mossad and all that. I mean,
All I know is that bullet from 3006 would have blew a hole.
should have ripped them apart.
Ripped them apart. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think that is. I think he would have been the next president, one of the next maybe not 2028, but 32.
oh yeah, he was that.
or
People were definitely
36.
behind him. You know what I
Right?
mean?
And he had the ability to sway a nation, right? So it's one thing to have a podcast and have viewers, right?
Yes.
But it's another thing for him to go to campuses, college campuses, all throughout the country and have a crazy following. To have people get out of their houses and come and see you in person.
Yep.
That's a whole different type of following.
Yeah, I mean, he was just the way he worded it, and he just seemed so genuine on, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he just would answer questions. The way he answered questions.
Very articulate. His
Yes.
stance on things were great, right?
Yeah.
Like, most of us, you want to believe, like, abortion isn't good, right?
Yeah.
Unless, if there's a, a woman that's raped, right?
Yep.
Then, of course, right? But
Yeah.
it's not Christian-like or whatever it is. Between that and he had his whole thing that you're either a man or a woman. You're not, a whole alphabet, and that thing transformed and got its own mind now, which is crazy, you know.
Like, all my stance on that, listen, if you're an adult,
Do what you do,
want.
but
Do
as
what you do.
kids,
As kids, no, their brains are not developed. Like, I got kids myself, and no, let them grow up, naturally develop, and then when they
Right.
come of age, let them make that choice.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Like, the school's pushing down the throat, put it this way.
I saw a TikTok yesterday. Well, it was actually on Instagram, right? And it was this guy. It was this lady that was filming her brother that was just getting out of prison.
Uh-huh.
Now, he went in as a man.
Wait on.
And came out as a woman.
Yep.
And she was like, what the heck?
Man.
And the prison pays for that.
Oh, they pray for that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, not on.
Which is crazy.
That is
You-
insane.
You could go in and say, hey, I identify as a woman. Now you're in a dorm full of women as a man.
Listen, I think there's some blurring the lines.
And
Who wants it and who's...
Yeah, like how serious are you? Are you ready? Are you ready to get the scalpel to it?
And I want to see years down the road if there's regret. You know what I mean? And then the hormone changing. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
you know what I mean? Like it's just, you can't just undo that process.
100%. Years down the road, it's gonna look crazy, and it's it seems to be like a whole. They try to put, like, when I was a kid, not saying my mom's sister's a lesbian. I have no problem with gay people. My brother, rest in peace, he was gay.
Yeah.
I have no problem with it, but you didn't see a lot of that on TV.
No.
Now, in every show, every movie, there's a degree of that.
Like,
and I'm not saying it's bad, but it's almost like they're trying to push it into your face.
Like, I hate that pushing it. Like, just, like, even with comic books and those movies, like, changing characters to fit a certain agenda or a certain race, like, just leave it as it is. Like, let what we grow up on evolve. Yeah, I mean, like,
Right.
I understand if you want to make new characters. That's different. You want to keep new characters
Like,
and then
right.
implement some of that. But
So,
to
like,
change old characters. that's
Right. I mean,
crazy.
listen, my stand, like Iron Man. Iron Man is Tony Stark, right?
Yes.
Now, Tony Stark, we all know it's a white male,
Yes.
right? Now, if they made it a black male, they should have a different name, right?
Yes.
But he could still be Iron Man, but it's not Tony Stark.
They kind of did that. They have this Iron Heart, which is
I
a
saw
young
that.
black female.
I saw
and then, but like that, okay, so like I get that. Like you made a different character, cool. Because they were trying to replace that. That's when the problems occurred. Like
Right.
keep both of them then.
Right.
Let it rock.
Right.
You got the white cap, the black cap. Cool. Let it rock.
I saw J.K. Rowling, the person that created Harry Potter, right? So now they're doing a Harry Potter TV show.
Are they?
Where they're doing so one book is one season.
Okay.
So it's going to be a book a season,
Wait,
right?
so now let me ask you a
So-
question: is the books new books or old
No,
books?
the old books.
Okay. Oh, so like the
so
old,
so
okay,
like
gotcha.
the first book is going to be a season on that first book
Okay.
instead of a movie.
Yeah.
Right? And they changed Snape. Snape is now a black man. And she backed out. She bugged out. She said that's not how I wrote him.
Yeah. Exactly.
So which I understand. I understand, especially that's your passion, that's your book. You should
Yeah.
have a say so. But it's crazy how. I mean, did you know that the Pentagon has money set aside for Hollywood?
Oh, of course. Yes,
I mean,
I think it was called Project Mockingbird. I don't know if that was the CIA. So, like, movies and TV and movies and even, especially the news, have been, infiltrated and controlled.
Well, the news, I mean, there's a lot of news stations that's owned by George Soros, right? And there was actually, like, one of those, again, an Instagram reel that had many different news stations throughout the country, but they're all saying the same thing.
Yes.
The exact same thing, parroted, right? And which is why I think a lot of people now, especially the youth, they're getting their news through podcasts, right? They're getting it from Joe Rogan, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, people of that nature, because they're not leaning to the left or right. They're giving it as it is.
Yes. Well, the left and right, like growing up, we didn't see the divide such big like this. Like,
Right.
They really pushing the boundaries now. Like, but also, how do you control? You divide everybody.
Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer.
You know, and I mean, I think people aren't red or blue, right?
Yes.
Most people are purple, right down the middle. They believe in something from the red, something from the blue, not far right, not far left, but they believe in both of them, right? Which is why I'm surprised there's no purple party, you know?
Because that wouldn't be good for the narrative.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why there's no purple.
Well, I mean, also, you know, the United States, I think it's more of a corporation than it is a government.
Oh, my God. Look at the Federal Reserve.
You know? Yeah. I mean, listen, the last person that, you know, it was JFK that wanted to get rid of wanted to put the U.S. currency back on the gold standard,
yep.
right? And also wanted to sever ties with Israel.
Yep. And also,
they
secret societies, CIA, rogue agencies he was going after. So there was a whole mob of people that wanted that man dead.
Right. Right, and I mean, they killed him, you know, whether it was Israel or if it was the mob.
All right, so I always heard there was a mix of a little bit of everything. They had hit teams, they all met. I think, I forget whose house it was, but they all met the night before. And there was, basically, I think Oswald was by himself, but there was like 2-man teams all over the city. And what I always heard was, the driver was in on it, and some of the
was it you that told me the shot came from the sewer?
Sewer, yes. At least the video I seen years ago was it came from the sewer. They showed the sewer. You kind of like it's like almost like a tunnel, which makes more sense if you're boom like that, your head would go back, versus coming from a downward angle. You know what I mean?
I also heard it was the driver. Went
no,
like that.
because that would have been too hard with everybody there. Now, if it came from that, I heard if there was supposedly a mark on the curb, if he wasn't dead,
they were gonna get him.
Yes, they were going to get him at that point. Like, the car had to stop, which the Ruder film was, I heard, doctored, and the car did stop for, like, a couple seconds.
I mean, back then, you know, they were able to doctor a lot. I mean, you know, just because everybody didn't have these phones.
Yes.
Recording things. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to carry it out. I mean, even now, you take a look at the Charlie Kirk thing.
Yes,
you see all those people in the maroon shirts, a crap load of them, and then you see a video of the guy, Tyler Robinson, that supposedly killed him maybe 20 minutes later, and he's eating.
Yes,
you know,
and also, did you see the guy right after he shot him? There was an older gentleman on the floor right in front of him saying, I shot him. So everybody ran to him, and that distracted everybody pounced on
and then
him.
everybody else could disperse.
Everybody else dispersed, and like that. So I saw an Instagram video. I think Candace Owens, somebody put it on, was going over the people that own the property. So
yeah, so there was like after it happened, there was like supposedly like a trap tunnel, right, that somebody would have been able to go into and whatnot, and they paved over it. The day after.
And I heard the trail to get there. So the lady was on, and she didn't know they were going live. And what she said was, oh yeah, he would have got picked up by her right here. Like, I mean, it said like she picked him up right here, and then he was like, we're live or we're filming. I forget what he said. And she was like, oh, if it did happen, he would have got picked up right here. So she slipped up, and you could see everybody's face like
screwed up.
Yeah, she screwed up.
That's a big screw up. We were talking about the podcast, right? And once a month we're probably going to do like, what are we in March? So maybe we're going to have somebody come in and discuss what Step 3 is all about.
Yep.
And have like that way that we could hit our recovery fan base.
Yes. We want to hit a little bit. We want this to be a very diverse podcast because I like, a bunch of different podcasts. But like, I hate when they just like a prison podcast. It's just straight prison.
Yeah, it can't be straight.
Or just like drugs and war stories. Like we want to, we'll even we'll do movie reviews that are shorter episodes or music reviews or anything. We can even go old movies, new movies. Like I want this to be a broad thing, and we want to get feedback from the viewers, and we're open minded to everything, all different topics.
Well, there's a couple things I want to do too. There's a rapper from Bellport, town over. His name's Ross Son. He did a song with Big Pun back in the day. Ooh. 97.
Okay.
And then the rumor has it is he got blackballed from the music industry.
Everybody.
Great MC.
Yeah.
I want to have him on. R.A. the Rugged Man, another Long Island artist. He's from Stony Brook. I'm going to have him on. But when I was a kid, I was like maybe 15 years old. And I think I told you a story. Ross Son, I met with Ross Son and we went to a party in Gordon Heights. Right?
Gordon Heights.
And there was a team of, they shoot a lot of music videos called Street Heat there, right? So they were there. Maserati Fox, rest in peace.
Yes,
He was
Maserati
there.
Fox. Great.
And Mr. Cheeks was there.
Okay.
And I met Mr. Cheeks. And in the basement of the place, there was stripper poles. So I'm 15 years old. I didn't know how to put a dollar into a G-string. And he gave me a stack of dollars and showed me how to do it. And I was there for like an hour and a half just putting freaking dollars into the G-string of the strippers, you know? And that was my first interaction with Mr. Cheeks. I met him years later, and he always remembered me.
Okay.
You know, I was going to have him come to my birthday this past month in January, but I was off to the races before I went into the treatment center, so that didn't happen. But I want to have him on too, you know, and ironically, this place is right up the block from my house.
I know. I couldn't believe how close we were.
Yeah, we were going in the complete wrong.
Yeah, I know. We were woof right past it.
Yeah,
but,
man.
what was I going to say? Yeah, strip clubs. Were you a big strip club guy?
I've dated a few.
Okay, guys. Like, me, I just couldn't wrap my brain around giving
But now,
money away like that.
I wouldn't do that. I would go, and I went more for the drink, and I was, you know, maybe getting rid of some goods there.
Yeah, that all fits.
But I would pick them up after they were working.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go in there and spend my money because that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Right? When I was, go back to 2010, I'm living in this place, staying in this place, Strathmore Ridge, right? And it was hood.
Where's that at?
Right in Ridge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I probably
It's called Strathmore Village. And rest in peace, there was this guy, Steezo. They called him Steezo the Fly Negro. He was a bounty hunter blood, right? And his brother was this guy, Wax. Wax is still alive, and he was a Crip. They're both from Wyandanch, right? And I was smoking PCP back then, but he was a gorilla pimp, right?
Okay.
And he taught me how to do that. Now it's not something I took a lifestyle to, but instead of a chick, you know, selling her body, I'd put her in a strip club, right? And then I got a taste of recovery, and I was like, you know, baby, there's a better way.
Yeah,
you don't gotta do.
There's a better way to live. Than,
yeah, you ain't gotta do
run
this.
around the
no
streets like that.
Yeah, you know, so yeah, I'm not a big strip club guy, but I remember when I was dating this chick Roxy. She worked at Blush, and she got me
Blush,
she
yeah,
got me
that's right, I remember.
blackballed from there. Yeah,
Really?
man, I wasn't able to go. I probably could now. You know, that
Yeah.
was like 12 years ago, but
Yeah.
I'm not interested in doing it.
No, like me, like listen, I'm
You
happy
know?
with my girl. Everything's good. She's amazing. Like I don't see the point of doing a relationship and then like live one way or the other. At least at this point in my life, I've been through so much. And plus, me, back in the day, I was anti-relationships. Never put the P on the pedestal. That was my motto. But trying to keep it YouTube friendly. But you know, like you know, I'm with this girl. I'll leave her name empty for the moment because I don't know if she wants that out there. But you know, like when you like, as a young man, I just never thought love. You know what I mean? Like I was always like.
Player. You want to be a player.
Well, not even that. Just like I don't want nobody to get too close. Always wanted to keep arm length. Always arm length. You know what I mean? Because I would see, or other girls I was with that had boyfriends or, you know, married, and you're like, what?
You would see the stuff that comes out of it.
And then and people, like my boys, would just lose their mind. You know what I mean? Like
over the girl.
Over a girl, and I was just that bugged me out.
Don't want that.
No.
Don't want that. You know, I used to see that all the time as a kid, you know. I remember there was this dude, and he had a girl, and, you know, she was crazy in love with him, but he'd be cheating on her. I'm like, yo, you got the family. What are you doing?
I don't get it. Like, listen, like I always said, if you just break it off. Because, listen, with today's day and age, like, it wasn't back in the day. Like, where, just smartphones, like, you will get caught.
Oh, 100%.
And, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's just...
Well, it's also karma comes into play.
Karma, that's a big thing. Karma. Which,
she will visit you.
Yes. And if you were doing the dirt, you will pay
a
piper.
It always comes back. It always comes back, you know, which is why I think, you know, the whole recovery thing is a great way to live, right?
Yes.
So, you know, it's a set of spiritual principles, right?
Yep.
Now, another word for principle is law, right?
And it actually, it goes hand in hand.
So you could be in conflict of them, but it doesn't make them any less true. You could not believe in the law of gravity, but I guarantee you, if you go to a building, on top of a building, you jump off. Whether you believe in gravity or not don't matter.
You're going to be...
Which is why, you know, I think, you know, the whole recovery thing, living within spiritual principles, which are great for you and they're great for mankind. It's a catalyst to living a better life.
Yes, like even, you know, I removed all substances, but yesterday there was like 2 or 3 times I got mad and like anger and rage is like my default emotion.
Right, but anger is a secondary emotion.
It is.
So if you pull it back, what are you angry about?
Yes, and what I was angry about was a certain ex-friend, we'll call him, was doing some dirt behind my back to my lady, my girl. It's like, bro, I'm a very loyal person. I will give you the shirt off my back.
Now, let me ask you this. Was this Voldemort, if we will?
Skell.
Was Voldemort hitting up the person while you were in treatment?
Yeah. And
Which is some,
trying to look out for me.
which is some slimy
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like, girl, if it was your girl, listen, I wouldn't ask, or if I did, I'd keep it short and sweet and to the point.
Listen,
I was
for a while I didn't like 6ix9ine, right?
Oh, boy drops facts.
But he drops facts, and I saw him the other day on Instagram, and he was like, "Listen, if somebody's your real friend, bro, they're not gonna screw your girl."
No. Oh, well, dude,
And that's a fact.
bro, it blows my mind because I don't know if it was a back in the day thing, but I feel like people don't live with those principles anymore. Like everybody's trying.
Well,
to
it's usually that person that got loyalty tatted on.
Yes, because they want to emphasize, because they're doing such grimy things, so they're trying to play like, oh, I'm just looking out for you. If you're looking out for me, you could hit up my parents. You could hit, I mean, like,
Right.
Or one of my other boys. You're gonna.
Right. Like, all right. So hypothetical. Let's say you were locked up, right?
Yeah.
You needed some money, and your girl answers. I'd straight up go like this: give her the money, turn around.
That's it.
There's
Boom.
no. I don't want a cup of coffee.
No,
I'm not coming in.
I don't want to hear about your problem. Yeah, have the shoulder to cry on.
You know what that means? It's to ride on.
Yep. And which is.
How you do it?
Wait, all right. Right into the atmosphere, out the solar system, into the next galaxy.
I love that. That had me dying every time
I
you
used
did
to
that.
always hit what's his face during the meeting. I
Oh,
would just wait until it's dead silent, and then I just wait, and he'd be like, "No, don't do it." And I'd just be like, and oh my god, he would just break down. I'm like, what?
You know, it's funny when Brendan was doing that thing. Most of the people in the world are, and he said pretentious, right?
Yes.
And I looked up the word pretentious when I got home, and it was dead on point. So it means he would exaggerate himself and what his values are and what he stands for, and he did. He definitely did.
Oh, of course.
Which is crazy. It just goes to show, if you don't know that, and you say most of the people in the world are, whatever word you say is what you feel.
Yeah,
about
me and you we knew. So he came to me. I said positive.
That's it.
Everybody's like. Piece of.
I said at peace.
Yeah.
At peace.
Everybody in the world sucks.
Einstein said taller than me.
My boy, very smart man. Very smart man.
Yeah.
He was my roommate, too.
Yeah, he was cool. A lot of people in there were cool. I've been to a few rehabs, and that was by far the best one I've been to. I mean, down to the people that work there, they're all great.
Yeah, you know what? I really had to surrender this time. Like, I always had reservations in the past. Like, even down to, I can't sleep. I got to take this. Or not even to my main thing, but I always want...
a substitute.
Yes. Like, because you don't want... It's all about dealing with your emotions. Like, we're still going through it.
Attitudes and behavior.
Yes.
Attitudes and behaviors, right? And I used to say, like, I had that reservation too, right? Or I would just about, it's just weed, right? But if I smoke weed, it pushes that boundary. I already lost my time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to tell them that.
No, I'm not going to go to a meeting and be like, hey, restart.
Right, which is why, this is, nothing. I got 33 days. You know what I mean? And I've had longer time, but 33 days is a long time. Imagine waiting to get your stuff, and your boy said, hey, I got you in 33 days.
You would lose your mind. You would absolutely, the world would cry. You would be like, brrr.
Right. So, I mean, this is the time, talk about surrender. I'm getting into step work this time, which is something I never did.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Imagine going to a 12-step program and never doing 12 steps.
You would think that at this point, in the past, you would hear it drilled into our brain so many times. But same thing. I go to meetings, but never do the work.
Right.
So it's like you're showing up for work and not doing anything, and then wonder why you keep getting fired.
Well, I always say, they say meeting makers make it. Meeting makers make meetings.
Yes.
Right. The people it's not a program for the people that want it or the people that need it. It's for the people that do it.
Yeah.
Right. So there's two aspects to it. There's the fellowship, which is the meetings.
Yep.
And then there's the program, which is the book, the literature.
Yes.
Right? And you go through the literature, which bring you to the 12 steps, spiritual principle, live your life by, and traditions and concepts and all these things to work out. But yeah, I would go for years. And, I thought if I hung out with the person that had 30 years, 20 years, it would rub off on me or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'll live a better life. But if you don't have that, the solution to what the problem is, and the problems are, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, because for me, what the hardest part was, you hear about these guys talk, they hear that come to Jesus moment where they see the light or some great epiphany. I just never had that. For me, I gotta grind day in, day out, and keep reminding myself about playing the tape forward. And listen, I don't got a DeLorean. I ain't Doc. You know what I mean?
You can't go
I
back.
can't go back in time and change the past. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people always like, well, about the past. I said, well, what do you want me to do? And believe it or not, I can't predict the future either. I can't go forward. I can just do today and tomorrow.
Which is why I think the crux of it comes down to acceptance and forgiveness.
Acceptance is a big thing because it's hard to swallow that pill.
Yeah,
especially if you burn the world to the ground.
And then couple that with forgiveness, it's like, whew, I'm good.
Man, I know.
Right? And like I said all the time, those meetings, that it's a subculture back in the culture, right? And the thing about life is balance. You want to balance.
And also, sorry to be no.
Well, I was going to say, you don't want to work too hard and not have play, but you don't want to play too hard and not have work.
Yes, it's also like, for me, like I want to be the best father, best boyfriend, significant other, like best son, you know what I mean? Best friend I could be to my boys, you know what I mean? And like everybody around me.
And that's ongoing, right? Because the one thing is you can't plow all your fields at once, right? So, you can work on being a better boyfriend, being a better friend, but then maybe you lack on being a better son. And you the idea behind it is be a better man today than you were yesterday.
Yeah, like a big thing for me. Like I was married. Yeah, I got married young.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah,
story.
she got knocked up. I got out. Getting locked up, then going to a TC, which that was the grind. You know what I mean?
Do you remember that philosophy? I am here because there's no refuge.
Oh, yes. Okay. I remember getting toothbrush scrubbing tile floors for hours.
Sweep the sun off the sidewalk.
Yeah, like it was crazy. But when I got home, this is before I got to the union, the labor's union, 731, shout out. Now I'm in Local 15, operating engineers.
Nice.
But, I got to get back to work. So got her pregnant. And I did the right thing. Wasn't, and got married. We had 2 more beautiful children. I got 2 girls and 1 boy, and then once I got divorced, that's when you already know it's like the prelapse, like everything's about to I mean, I met this girl, tattoo artist, and then I had surgery, and then once that surgery came, when I stopped the F word, which I'm talking about, wasn't around, and then she came home with some stuff. Little blue Smurfs that weren't blue Smurfs, and within days I was sick.
Gotcha.
And man, just everybody was like, "I thought you were good. I thought you were cured." Because there was so many, you know what I mean, and just but I wasn't living 100% perfect. Like I wasn't the best husband I could be. I mean, I was working too much, and I could have been there more for the kids. Like I mean, it hurts me to say that.
Right.
Like, I'm not a bad father. I love my kids to death, but I could have. It was just get a house. Like my whole goal was I never thought to buy a house, and I got a house, and then to lose that house. You know what I mean? And just everything you built up gone, and to restart. And then I broke up with her. And then since that divorce, it's been just, get some time, crumble back down. Get some time, crumble back down.
Which is why I think, again, it always comes back to that forgiveness and forgiving yourself and acceptance, right?
Yes.
I got it, I lost it, but this is the wonderful thing about it. People like us, we could always get it back.
Yes.
And we could get back even more.
Yes, like that's why, the podcast, that was such a big thing. Because, I've been talking to them forever. I always set these goals, and I always fall short. Like, I want to be the best version of me. And I want to, give it a shot. Who knows? Maybe it blows up, maybe it doesn't. But at least we gave it our best shot. You know what I mean?
Well, I hope y'all subscribe, for sure.
Yes, definitely subscribe. You know what I mean? Like, listen, we have tons of ideas. We're good for feedback. Like, we're gonna push this and give us our best. You know what I mean?
100%. I mean, like I said, I already have people that are ready to come on to this, which is great, and I really think it's going to blow up between us going to, our meetings and between that and the treatment center we were just at, if they posted, and we just keep on. It's about consistency, right? I mean, I spoke about doing a podcast for years, right? I did the audio one, but I never did the video.
I did the same thing, and I know.
And now we did the video one. So it's like Nike. You just got to do it.
Yep.
You know, and you know, my mom used to work at a bar, right?
Oh.
And she used to tell me a story about like these people that would always come to the bar and always have plans and always talk about what they're gonna do. But they would be there week after
Sitting
week
there with the drink, just
talking about what they're gonna do.
Yep.
But they never did it.
Yep.
So it's about doing it, you know. And it's like I'm starting step work today, bro. It only took me, you know, 15 years to do it.
I gotta start that. That's coming up. And see, my problem is I'm actually getting a peptide for this. For reading, I can't read. Like, I mean, I can read. I know how to read, but it's just
Clarification.
I remember giving me 48 levels of power, and I remember reading it and just being like, "What's going on?" I'm thinking about my girl, I'm thinking about my kids, I'm thinking about everything but the book. Like, I just can't. So there's a peptide my boy was telling me about. I forget the name of it. Take it. It's supposed to fix cognitive.
Okay, it was kind of like Alpha Brain does that to a degree.
But amped up, so it's getting, it's supposed to help with ADHD, help, there's a different one for sleep. Peptides are huge. That's the thing, which they're probably going to try to ban that soon, but there's a peptide for everything, which, does more of a permanent fix. Like instead of popping it,
well,
an Addy or something.
It's something like, I mean, it's a supplement, right? Because regardless, everybody else is like lacking something, right?
Yes.
And instead of putting you on an Adderall, putting you on this, they put you on something that's a little bit more natural. It is more like fine-tuned for whatever it is that you lack.
And I think it permanently, it fixes the actual issue. Instead of just masking it, like, a painkiller to mask pain, or, a Xan to mask anxiety. You're not really taking care of the problem. You're just putting a blanket over it, and then that monster just keeps creeping out. There's always a time where you run out.
Well, I was saying there's always like me cutting an artery, right?
Yeah.
And blood spilling on the ceiling, and you're cleaning the ceiling instead of treating the wound.
Exactly.
And that treats the wound.
Yeah. Instead of getting that sewed up, getting some staples in it, you're just, you're worried about there, but you're not fixing this.
Right. And it always, it's weird. It always starts and ends with us.
Yes.
Everything in life starts and ends with us, They always say there's two relationships in life, self and others.
Yep.
And then if you get a little bit deep, maybe there's no self. But, I believe we're spiritual beings having a human experience, right?
Yes.
Because there's, even the disease of addiction, right? It is a mental aspect, right? But then there's a spiritual aspect to it, mind, body, soul is what you got to work on, or mind, body, spirit, whichever way you want to put it. Which is why I think, within us, we're spirit. This is a vessel.
Oh, yes, 100%. Like, that's what always trips me out. I'll think about it at night. I'm like, imagine you work your whole life to build up this body, your mind, everything, and then you're dead.
Gone.
It's gone. Now, I'm like, what happens? You go into another body? Is it you turn into a butterfly?
Well, what I always said is like that light at the end of the tunnel is you coming out another womb.
Yes. Like, now, let me, because I'm big with the spirit stuff, too. Like, I've seen paranormal stuff since a young age, and I've had demonic attachments. Like, that's a whole other thing we're gonna get into too. I would love to get like a medium or a psychic on.
I know one.
Got one?
I know one, man.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Really?
I do. And I went to school with her, bro. And she even goes to she does paranormal stuff. She'll go to real haunted places and contact entities and shit.
A little ghost thing too. A ghost hunt. Go get a couple people and do a couple episodes like that.
She does it all the time. Went to school with her, and she went to the place that has that doll.
Oh, Annabelle.
Yeah.
Which, see,
you know who bought that? Matter of fact, was it Post Malone?
Did he?
Or maybe not Post Malone. Somebody bought it. No, it was a comedian actually.
Bought the doll. Dude,
bought the property.
Oh, the property.
And then they had to clean out the thing it was in, and then the person passed away. Some things are really haunted.
Listen,
bro.
I've seen some things, and that Ouija board is no joke. We were playing with that. I remember I think we were 14. Me, my cousin, a couple of my boys. Shout out to them. You know who you are. We were playing with that, and bro, we were high as a kite, and it was spelling out things. We're all looking at each other. I'm like, "Are you moving it? Are you really touching it?" And everybody's like, "I swear." And it was spelling out things that, I couldn't even compute at the time. Like, we're just like, and then...
somebody swears they're not touching it.
Listen, but no, it was the after effect. What happened in that house after for years. I'm talking about years. There was a night, we were sitting, so now, it was, my grandparents bought that house in Shirley, when me and my cousin Frankie were born. I have a cousin, same name, same age, he's like my brother. And what happened was, I remember one night we were about to go to a fishing trip in the morning, so we weren't like partying or anything. It was me, him on like we had like a big bed. So, me and him both slept on each side. And we had a bunk bed, and we're sitting in that room, and all of a sudden you hear like almost like nails on a chalkboard going on the outside wall. But it was the garage, so maybe a raccoon, squirrel, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, all right, and then it jumps to the next wall, and it's four grown-ass men sitting there. We turn the light on, and then, bro, it jumps to the other wall. And we must have ran to the kitchen. Everybody starts pounding back homemade wine. Like, we slept with the light on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, we see things. I remember being, like, sitting on the couch and just seeing, like, a dark shadow walk. And I was like, oh, my God. Like, what is going on? Like, whatever we did in that house with that Ouija board. I mean, I think it's good now, but I'm talking about we used to have big house parties, right? And we throw people in the back, like where we used to see it. I mean, that house is very religious too, so it has like a spooky, not spooky, it's but it has like a weird vibe to it, at least for me. And we put people in the back room, and we didn't tell them anything about the house. And they'd come out and they'd be like, "Yo, something's up at this house." Like they wouldn't say it, but like you could see it on their face, like they had an experience. Like I remember being in a. Right next to Shirley Mastic, me and my ex-wife.
Well, that was your first mistake.
Yeah, and I remember I had a puppy at the time, and dogs are very keen to that. And I remember she was somewhere, and I was in the home alone, and all of a sudden I hear like upstairs. And I thought it was her nephew, and I'm like, Joe. I go upstairs, there's nothing there. And then I hear stuff down, and the dog is like attached to my leg. Usually dogs will bark.
Right.
And I remember sleeping in the car with the dog because I was like bugged out. Like,
was the dog bugged out too?
Dog was bugged out.
And dogs have a different.
That's why I was like, oh.
If the dog's scared, you should be scared.
And you know what? And she said, she's like, when she came back, because I was still trying to hustle, to get some money up because I had the baby on the way and everything. And she was like, oh, I told spirits to mess with you. And I was like, what? So now, at the same time, I was having like 104 fevers. Fast forward a little bit. 104 fevers. Go to urgent. Nothing was wrong. Nothing was wrong. And I was getting marks. And like that time period, I would just black out. And apparently I had like a demonic attachment that had to get like cleansed. Like, I'm telling you, it's when you mess with the spirit realm, it will mess back. Like, there's good entities, good spirits, and bad spirits.
Right. I mean, I remember us watching that podcast in the treatment center about
professional shout out.
And the whole thing about the guy, astral projecting, and then somebody cut the cord.
Yep.
And then another entity went into him, and then the whole.
They were talking about Baal, right? Remember?
Yeah,
that's what
the demon.
The demon, and remember he was saying.
And he's a high demon.
Yes, and also it was lucid dreaming. So now they said a lot of authors, like the guy who did the Lord of the Rings,
right?
They would almost astral project or lucid dreaming, which one they were doing, and they were going to these different realms and seeing these things, then going back and writing it, like observers in these, whatever, other dimension, other realm, whatever you want to call it. But like all that to me is just so like how do they come up with these ideas? Like, you know what I mean? Like I get like certain things, but like a real like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter is so out there. Even comic books. A lot of, like there's Illuminati, there's the Cabal, like in the Marvel comics. Like, dude, I watch those movies and I'm like, like, it is, like, yeah, it's a little bit out there, certain things, like the Hulk ain't running around, but, like, Captain America, I've heard they have super soldiers that can jump off a building and not break their legs, that can run faster, that can catch a bullet, not like, but like, as they move, as the bullet comes, they can catch it.
If there's any of you guys out there, we'd love to have you on.
Please hit us up. Like, we'll have you on, we'll hear you out, you know what I mean? Like, I think everybody out there, not everybody, but like there's certain people that have certain abilities.
Oh,
like,
100%. I mean, even the remote viewing thing.
Oh, I heard we could all do it, but obviously some people more tuned into doing it. You know what I mean? That have
right.
More...
Well, I think there's a whole thing that humanity in and of itself got dumbed down. Right now we're trying to build ourselves up, and I think there are certain abilities that we do have as humans that we're not keen to because we lost how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, look at distraction sports. The guy who made the NFL, Skull and Bones Society, at I think it was Yale or Harvard. Which one?
I found something out. Every president has put their hand on the Bible to swear in, except for one. Do you know which one?
Our boy?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Listen.
That's why, I mean, I don't know if you saw the clip where that guy came up to him and said, this is our first Jewish president. Yeah, I'll show it to you after the pod. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy that all of them swore on the Bible but him.
I mean, listen.
I mean, and then you look at the ties to Israel. I mean, Bibi Netanyahu kind of seems to be bullying us. And, I mean, he's a big donor for everybody. AIPAC in and of itself should be a foreign lobby, should register as a foreign lobby. There's actually a video of Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz, right? And he's talking about Israel to him. And he straight punked him out. Straight up punked him out, which is crazy. But I love Tucker Carlson. I think, to be honest, I think if Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens ran together as a team to run for president and vice president, I guarantee you they'd win.
See, this is my thing. I'll tell you right now, I don't watch the news at all. I'm so dialed out because I guess, you could say it's like the Matrix. I took that red pill, and now everything I see is jaded. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't watch the news per se.
No,
I watch Tucker Carlson because he's off mainstream media.
Yeah, that's good because anybody on mainstream,
it's biased.
Yes, you cannot allow to say. I know there was my buddy called me one day. He's like, "I believe in aliens." And I'm like, "What happened?" Amazon had I forget what it's called. It's it was something undisclosure, whatever. Something about UFOs, and it was all military personnel and Congress talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
bro. They had a whole hearing. There was a David Fravor or something like that. That was he's an Air Force pilot, and he saw the Tic Tac.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about. Yes, aliens. I mean, listen, if you really think we're the only beings in this universe, you are out of your mind.
I also think, because I used to think, and I think it's misinformation, where all these movies would have, beings coming from outer space.
Yes.
But I think they're under the ocean.
Now, let me ask you a question. What's your, the flat earth thing? I'm not a flat earther at all. I know some people are going to be, listen, but the one person, it was Einstein, who showed me something just to make it seem a little valid for those people. He took a quarter and then, spun it. And he said, listen, if, how they say it has a dome, imagine if that was on its side like this, and now spinning it, it would look like a spear.
Well, according to the Bible, we're under the firmament, right?
Yes. So what is that firmament exactly? I always heard it. I just never really researched into it.
Water above us, between us and outer space, right?
Water?
Yeah, it's a thing of water, which is why, if you see a lot of airplanes go up, they always curve.
Yeah, they go up.
None of them ever, rockets.
Yes.
They always curve. They never go straight up. They always curve.
Hey,
right?
You see them. But
and what they were trying to do is they were trying to blow a hole in the firmament so they could get out, right?
See, for me, that takes away, unless these aliens can get through it.
Or they're in the water.
Listen, I know I've heard these, they're called DUMBs, deep underground military bases. And the ones on the bottom of the ocean, they build it, they go inside the earth, which the earth is all hollow. Not hollow, it's big caverns, like the size of Texas. So now you go underneath and burrow up, because you're not going to go down with materials and all that. And once you have a ship that can bend time and space, I know it's like a spear, and then that spear, that's why you can make those quick moves and the G-force doesn't rip you apart.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they have a spear of
even think about the Midtown Tunnel, right? You're going underwater while you're in that tunnel.
It's crazy. I worked on the 2nd Avenue subway, and it's just, I've dug up stuff in Manhattan. We've hit flat concrete surfaces. So and then some of it, you can hear the subway, and some of it you can't. And it's just I know downtown has this building, and I've seen it on Tom Hanks was talking about it.
Okay.
I remember seeing it. I can feel things. I can always feel when somebody's lying to me, like an empath type of. I can always feel stuff before it happens. You know what I mean? And I remember looking at this building, and I'm like, what is going on? And I remember seeing something on the news, a clip somebody sent me, saying the world's creepiest building. So I'm like, if they're pointing something out about it, there's got to be, you know what I mean? It's just it's downtown. I forget where it is. And
I think I saw a video.
It's no windows on. I never seen anybody come in or out. I know the city's got a lot of tunnels. I remember seeing in real time. I worked all through COVID, and seeing the military in Central Park. And then I seen other podcasts and stuff at the time before everything got completely censored, talking about there was a base under there where they found women and young
do you remember
children.
seeing that video of the Jewish people they were coming. There was like in their synagogue or whatever. They were coming from underneath the synagogue, and there were like tunnels down there. I mean,
Yeah.
but also think about the Roaring Twenties, how they were moving around liquor
That
and
too,
whatnot.
and then with the gold, I heard like JB, they like like say like how different countries have their gold, and,
Right.
and then they would ask to see their gold, even though we may have used it, they would bring it from say JP Morgan's to where they had the I forget what building it was, and have a tunnel, show them, and then bring it back.
Oh, like Fort
So-
Knox.
Like no, not Fort Knox. This is like in the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like like saying we'll say Russia. I'm just throwing an example. I'm not saying Russia, but they would want to see their gold, which we wouldn't have.
Oh, kind of like that movie. What was it? Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yes, I see. I'm original Die Hard guy. I
And
never
then-
seen that one with.
Yeah, and then with Samuel L. Jackson, and they went in, they were stealing the gold, and it was right in the city.
Oh, that one. Yes. Yeah, just like that. You know what I mean? And movies and TV, like True Detective season 1, what we talked about.
Okay.
That was very on the nose with certain Clinton things that happened with a laptop. You know,
Oh, so Hillary Clinton. Also,
Yes,
Hillary
yes.
Clinton smashing the laptops.
Yep.
Also, there was the whole thing. I just saw a podcast about Comey, the guy that ran the FBI.
Oh, he was,
and
snake.
he deleted 100 terabytes
that's insane. That's
Of
insane. That's so much information.
from the Epstein files.
Oh, Epstein. I mean, how he got-
100
how he
terabytes.
got,
Imagine how much is
yeah, I mean-
gone.
Listen, even his untimely, which I would have loved to see him get really, dragged through the mud, but he knew way too much.
Oh,
and
100,
they can't let
100.
all that information out because it's gonna rock the world.
Yeah,
Just like
and-
when they don't talk about UFOs. I remember it was they had a radio. I remember before TV was around. It was the World of Worlds. Remember that?
Yeah.
So once they put it over the radio,
Okay.
and people really thought it was an alien invasion and started freaking out. That's when the government said, "Hey, people, we can't handle it."
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why, I'm sure there's other reasons, but they would, just imagine if tomorrow they came on every news station and said, hey, there's aliens. They've always been here.
Oh, people would freak out.
People would, nobody go to work. Nobody
I
go
mean,
to
some
school.
of them would be like, I knew it.
Yes, like, but like the rioting and it just people, when something happens, I remember when Trump got elected, I was working in the city, and it was nighttime, we were working, and I remember hearing like,
The first time.
the first time, and just seeing that crowd, just people, just were out there, and just seeing like, just a couple people could turn the whole crowd into this massacre. I remember seeing, I remember pulling down, trying to get to Union, we were by Union Square, turning down a block, and cops are on one side, and just letting the people go crazy. I remember trying to bust a U-turn, cab bust a U-turn, hit somebody, flipped over the cab. I'm like, oh my God. They were like, listen, take off your vest, either sit in the truck or blend in, because
Yeah.
we start working, they're going to start ripping through, and it's going to be chaos.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's
Like-
crazy. The amount of things that we're going to go over on this podcast are crazy. I'm going to be having I'm going to try to get, Bob Macedonio on here,
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
talk about the whole G-Unit thing. And then from there maybe work up, get Tony Yayo.
Yeah, man.
And have a bunch of people on here. I'm gonna take drug court. The guy that runs drug court, I've known for years. I'd love to have him on, talk about the judicial system here in Suffolk County. And just talk about a whole slew of things, which is great that we're not locked into one thing.
No,
right?
like I would love to do some outside episodes, like do a ghost hunt and try to pick up some stuff, or have a medium on, give us like a live.
Well, I think something that we should do is, over time as we grow a following, get a camera, right?
Yes.
And we could live stream as well.
Yeah, like we could do stuff in the car. I got the brand new iPhone. That's why I got it for that reason. Like we could just go in the car. We could do a movie. And also we want feedback from you guys to be like, hey, what do you guys want us to do? Like even we could do an episode where we pick somebody's idea from the comments and do an episode on that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or try something.
Which
that-
is cool because then we could, do a little research on whatever that topic is.
Exactly.
And then we could expand on it and maybe get an expert in on whatever that topic
Yes.
is. So we could also ask questions and learn.
Yes, and like
That way-
today, we just freestyle. Like,
Yeah.
there's no papers here. We're doing this off the cuff. Like,
Right.
we're just
Just
giving you a
letting
little...
letting it flow.
That's
Just letting it flow.
Just letting it go. And, you know what I mean? Like, as time goes on, yes, we will have, on certain topics, we'll research and then be prepared for it.
And what's going to be cool is like watching this back in a couple years, and
Yeah,
just
seeing
seeing how much we grow from it.
Because, this is new to us. Like, we're we're
100%. You know,
we're doing this.
I ordered that tapestry and I was looking at how great it would look in the
I
background.
know. Like that, we're gonna get merch, hats, hoodies, T-shirts. You know what I mean? Like we have a lot of things coming, and man, we're gonna post shorts and clips on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
Both of us, and then we'll have our own Instagram channel or Facebook page or whatever, just to give you guys updates on when episodes are dropping or new things.
Yeah, the YouTube is at Project Mayhem Podcast. And, we're going to make an Instagram. We're definitely going to make a Facebook, get the merch going. And we're just going to keep going. It's going to expand more and more every week as you see the people that come on. Because this is more of an introduction between me and you, right?
Yes.
And things we're going to talk about. But we're also, we're going to be interviewing people, which is going to be great.
Yeah, we're going to have almost like a, obviously everybody wants to do the Joe Rogan blue pen. But, like, I don't, Joe Rogan's, even now, since
he's the GOAT, though.
He's the GOAT. Big ups, love him. That's what got me into podcasting.
Oh,
there's other guys like Matthew Cox, another great one.
He's great.
There's JD Delay that does the prison stuff and other things.
And then I watch like Theo Vaughn. I watch Duncan Trussell. There's a whole bunch of people, and I'm telling you, like, really, Joe Rogan is the go to podcasting. And then I watch like Drink Champs, I watched the Joe and Jada one, but the GOAT of hip hop podcasting, believe it or not, the first one to ever do podcasting of hip hop was Ice-T.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I always thought of him a Law and Order guy.
On top of that, he's the longest running cop on television.
Is he really?
The longest running cop.
No way.
100%.
I did not know that.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. I mean, I guess he had in his contract, you can't kill me off.
Oh, my God. I remember that. I don't know if he was, remember Rick and Morty? They called him, what the hell?
Oh, I love Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty,
I would love to work up to get the creator of Rick and Morty on here,
I
dog.
know, that show, at first, my buddy, I remember we were working late. Shout out to you, you know who you are, who introduced me to Rick and Morty, my boy. But, what's it called? We were sitting in the truck, and I was like, I always thought it was some stupid cartoon, like a Family Guy, Simpsons. I'm not that type of guy. Like, I mean, I'm just not. I want something that could really, get the juices going, or like, see something that's not for kids. Like, you know what I mean? And then once I saw Rick and Morty, I was like, oh, this is for adults. Like, I ain't showing this to my kids. Like, this is for us.
100%.
And just the concept, especially with the alien stuff and the portals and the
dude,
different dimensions.
I watched that on LSD.
Oh, yes.
And it looks like those cartoons breathe. It's crazy.
You know what? DMT, that's I mean, like...
The spirit realm.
Yes, like, I would love to lucid dream or have somebody on that could, you know what I mean?
Tell us about it.
Yes, tell us about it, or even, you know what I mean?
I mean, then there's that, Mike Tyson talks about the toad.
The toad.
5-MeO DMT.
What's the other one that, it's
ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca, there we go. Yeah, I mean, like, that dude, I heard that's, like, life-changing.
They do retreats for that, and then there's, like, Ibogaine that actually cures addiction, supposedly.
Yes, like, well, that's another thing, yeah, I mean, like...
And I just wanted to shout out Sports Plaza for the outfit.
Oh, yeah, Sports Plaza, thank you.
We definitely, if you need clothes and petrol, head to Sports Plaza.
Yes, definitely. Awesome,
100%.
Awesome, real cool, nice little shop. They got a lot of things. Awesome shoe game there, too, which we're definitely going back on.
Yeah,
some
bro.
But,
and we're going to work overtime getting some sponsors for this.
Yes, please.
I'm
going to say it.
It's going to be, I mean, we really should have Gatorade sponsor us.
Yeah, imagine that. Let me take a little sip. We got to blur this out?
No.
I don't know how that works.
No. It's just free promotion for them at this point.
There you go.
We're going to get a check.
Imagine that. Oh, God.
That would be cool.
I just would love... I mean, I know that's wishful thinking to make this a reality.
But most importantly, shout out to Hot Water Studios.
Yes, Hot Water
for
definitely.
giving us the place to do this,
and giving us a platform so we
which
can
is
make our
phenomenal.
dreams come to reality.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I've been, like I said, I've been wanting to do this for a while. I had a studio that we could have did it in Patchogue, but they're focused on just doing music.
Yeah,
As to where this is a straight up podcast studio, which is great. And they do music here, which is great as well, and this is right up the block from my house.
I know, it's perfect. Insane. Right when I got off the exit, I was like, oh, man. And
we were also going all the way into Bellport.
Both of, like, when people, okay, so to give everybody a little background, people in treatments, like, usually meet people, you get out, and they're ghost, or they relapse, or this, or that. Like, for us to actually, well, we talked about it. You know, people always, you have nothing but time in there. And people like to always say, we're going to do big things, do this, we'll open a business, we'll go, you know.
To talk about doing something and then doing it is a completely different thing, you know, and the fact that we're actually here doing it,
Yes.
that's a check off the list.
Oh, man, that's a huge check. Like, even if it doesn't go anywhere, but, like, just to, yeah, like, listen, you have to try in life. If you never try, I hate being, I never want to be that guy, say, I want to do this, and that.
And then not do it.
And not do it. And then have that regret.
Right.
Like, I hate regret.
Right.
Yeah, I mean? And, like, I'm never silenced. Like, I always have to speak my mind. For better or for worse, you're going to get our thoughts on whatever. We're not cookie cutting. We're not, you know.
And on top of that, it's all genuine.
Yes.
You know, it's straight off the top.
You were getting the real versions of us. Like, there's no, like.
And that's another thing I love about you, Frank, is that you're the same in treatment as you are now. You know, and you got those people that are chameleons that, you know,
I hate them.
like that one guy that, you know, we're not going to say his name, but acted like he was in prison, didn't know his DIN number, and his story would just change every time. Everybody that asked him what he went to prison for, it was something different.
Yes. He told me, I met him first. He told me a totally different story, which I just love seeing the story develop. And I'm looking around like, okay. Bro.
Oh, bro, I tried blast. There was a few people I tried blasting before I left there in my last share.
I remember. I was just like, woo.
Yeah, like, you know, if anybody goes to treatment, if you go to treatment and they're sniffing your Wellbutrin, you know.
You probably got a couple issues you got to work out. Maybe you need to go to a long-term facility.
Yeah, you know, because if the thing about, you know, God, higher power, right, is you can't ask him to do something for you if you're not doing nothing for him, right?
Yeah.
Because what you get in is what you get out.
Yes,
What you put into anything in life is what you get out. And that's something that I've always learned, even in business, right? You know, the more hours I put in selling gold and silver, talking to clients, and building the portfolio, the better it is.
Yeah, even like the gym. People are just like, oh, I can eat good, or I can work out once or twice a week. Like, I was a personal trainer, and, like, people will come in and just train with me for 2 days, and then not put the work in outside of that.
Well,
like, you got, like, I don't care if you're on anabolic steroids, testosterone, growth hormone, peptides. If you don't put the work in, you will not get results. Like, I grind on the gym. I put those headphones on. I'm jamming and I go.
Beasting.
Like, beast mode. Like, I don't care. Demon mode, beast mode, whatever you want to call it, I go all in. Like, you can't half-ass anything in life. You half-ass, you get half-ass results, which...
Well, that seems to be the positive of being an addict, right? It's like you can't do half or nothing. You're either all the way in or all the way out.
Yes, it's either one way or the other. Like, there's no... Like, we always got to push it. Push the boundaries. Push the limits of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's why there's such highs and such lows.
Right.
Because, you know, we could turn water into wine. But also we could burn the whole world to the ground.
Right.
And our lives and just set it all ablaze. Like, there was times I knew I had drug court in the morning. And we were watching, I remember, I was with my cousin and somebody else. We were watching Sons of Anarchy. And I did a Roxy. And I was knowing in my head, like, bro, you got to get drug tested in the morning. Are you out of your mind? And just knowing I'm going to get locked up. I'm going to get remanded.
Sick.
And just not caring.
Sick, dude.
Like, it's just, it's insane what the brain will do. You know it's bad. Like, you know the cause and effect. But yet, the insanity is we keep doing it.
How are we doing on time?
We are 127. Where do you want to go to?
I don't know. Maybe we'll wrap it up right now. Right? Because we did an hour, right?
Oh, yeah. Whatever you want to go.
Yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up and we'll fucking, ooh, we got to blurb that part out.
Yeah. Well, you want to do like a little outro and then...
Yeah. I mean, start it off.
I don't know.
Well. So listen. I mean, we're gonna be recording every week, right?
So wait. So now let's just so we get the people. We're gonna try to do 4 episodes a month.
Right.
In between those episodes, we'll have mini episodes that we'll film either in the car or just us, you know, just giving updates on stuff, or we can do movie reviews, music. Like, there's different things. We want to keep you guys always have content.
Yeah,
in between.
and then you know, I mean, we're recording this on a Saturday, but it's gonna come out next Friday, right?
Yeah.
And we leave comments. Tell us, you know, what you want to hear about, what topics you want to hear about, what type of people you'd like us to have on.
And like, I hate to say this, but I always hear it. Subscribe. Comment, get the algorithm going. If you wanted to keep this, and listen, we have such a broad agenda. Like, we want to. It's not just prison, recovery, gym. Like, we want to hit the whole gambit of everything,
right?
And have speakers on, and have different people with different life experiences to get a whole broad audience. We don't want to just be conform to a certain topic.
Right.
We're gonna have and listen, we'll do a ghost adventure thing where we'll go out and try. Yeah, we'll try different things. Like
just you know, like
skydiving. That'd be dope.
you could do that. I'm not doing
Yeah,
that.
I'll do it.
Like, subscribe, share.
Yes.
You know, definitely comment and let us know what you want to hear about. And as you see the weeks go on, you're going to see it grow and transform. I mean, you know, we've never did podcasting in our life.
Yeah,
right.
We're definitely I'm putting all my energy into this.
So you know,
so is he.
You're going to see the growth, and I mean, you know, we've covered a lot of topics today.
Yes.
I mean, we did the intro. We got into the Anunnaki. We got into JFK. We got into Charlie Kirk. We got into a whole different. We got into the Vatican. A whole different facet.
And also,
of
like,
topics.
whatever I say, I'm going off the top of my memory that's coming back. So, like, I mean? Like, yeah, I don't remember certain names, certain things, but you got the general idea. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's my brain's almost like a nonstop bouncing around. Like, you know, for me, I know you're more articulate and how you remember things. Like, I seen you read books and just recite. I couldn't tell. I read the 48 Laws of Power. It's like the second time. I couldn't recite one line from one piece of the book. But that's the best. We're two different people, but very alike at the same time.
Right.
So you're gonna get two different views on things, but you know, we're gonna give you our honest opinion on everything.
Right,
Always.
right. I mean, you know, we don't have somebody that's putting the bill that's telling us we have to have
There's
a certain
no script
thing, you
right
know,
now.
no script.
We're just going.
There's never going to be no script.
No, we'll have different, like, you know, bullet points of
Yeah.
topics to go over.
Yeah, I mean, and if
more
we're-
formatted.
If we're interviewing somebody, maybe we'll have some questions
Yeah.
that we thought about, or questions that you guys would like us to ask them.
Yes.
You know, and we're just going to do this damn thing. You know, we're going to be recording every
forward to it,
every
brother.
Saturday,
Yep.
and yeah, that's about it. So, you know, thanks for tuning in
Thank you very much.
to Project Mayhem
Project
Podcast.
Mayhem.
And once again, shout out to Hot Water Studios.
Yes, thank you guys.
And we'll catch you next week.
Yep. See you soon.
We're over and out.